Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out what my next race is. How running changed my life. Back in 2011, first year I started running, I couldn't run to the end of the road, which is like 10 meters. I tried running in the past. I bunked off PE at school, notes from my parents just to get out of it. But little did I know back then, how running would change my life. For today's run, I'm wearing the A6 Magic Speed 3. Oh, I feel like Ben Bridges here, running through Thailand, but only I'm in Somerset. It's humid, it's not that hot. Bollocks, here comes a car again on this lane. Perils of running in Somerset on quiet lanes. Now, as I promised, I'm going to tell you how I started running. May 2011, stressful period at work. I decided to go out for a run one day, having never ran more than 10 meters. I downloaded the Nike Plus GPS running app. I hadn't heard of Strava at this point. Oop, forgot to start the watch. And played around with the app for the morning. Found some crappy jogging bottoms and crappy trainers. And went out. Yeah, across the road now. Shoes I had were a pair of New Balance. I can't remember the model. But as you can see from this picture, I did a couple 5Ks in them. But we'll get to that in a minute. So, it was May. I downloaded the app, had the shoes on, had the jogging bottoms on, I had the app on my phone, and I thought, I'll run to the next village, which is 1 mile away. I was really apprehensive about running a mile non-stop. It'd be the first time in my life that I had completed that distance. Needless to say, once I got to the mile, be it slowly, I decided to walk just a small loop around the village until I had a mile to get home. So once again I jogged home and did the loop just over 25 minutes, as you can see from the screen grab from the Nike app. Yeah, 7 days later I still had DOMS. I was got up on my day off and I did the loop again, 2.25 miles. And I made a playlist which was 25 minutes long once the last song finished. My goal was to complete the loop before the end of the last song, which I did. And then, only 4 days of DOMS after this run, I was beginning to enjoy it and get the runner's high, which I'd heard so much about. Then a couple of weeks later, I saw a friend of mine in the pub. He was training for an Ironman. And at that time, I had no idea what one of those was. But once he told me, I was intrigued. But I couldn't swim. That's another story for another video. Anyway, he said to me, do you want to come and do the Yeovil 5K next week? I didn't know how far 5K was. So I said, yeah, I'll do that. He paid for me, picked me up. I did the race, just under 26 minutes. I'll see if I can find the Strava info and put it on screen for you. And at the end of the race, I had a real runner's high. And it was just epic. At that time, I'd never run so far or so fast. And I was addicted. And then the following month, I did the same race and came in at 24 minutes something. But hindsight is wonderful. Once I crossed the finish line, I was chatting to an old school friend who ran the race, and I passed out. Then when I came around, I realised what had happened. I had been shocked by my internal defibrillator, only because I hadn't told the technicians at the hospital who look after me that I'd started running. So once my heart rate got to 184, my machine kicked in. But after the race, I went to the hospital, got checked out. No cuts, no bruises, just a bit of internal bruising from being shocked. And the medics race tuned me to a safe upper limit, and I asked if I could continue running. They said yes, by all means, but just train sensibly and don't get your heart rate too high, which to this day I train like any other person in regards to heart rate. After those 2 5-kilometre races, I well and truly had the bug, so I decided 10k, double the distance. Now, could I do it? So I built my training up a little bit, week on week. I was only running twice a week. I didn't know anything about running plans, any of the terminology, so all I did was a slight long run on a Tuesday, maybe one on a Saturday or Sunday, about 3 miles. I worked up to 6 miles over the course of the summer and took part in the Castle Kerry 10k in the October. That was a brilliant run. Multi-terrain, hills, footpaths, hedgerows, just fantastic. I wish it was still happening. Comment below if you took part in the Castle Kerry 10k in 2011. By the end of October, after having no intentions of doing races, I'd signed up for the 2012 Yeovil Half Marathon. Still coaching myself. My runs increased week on week, slightly building the distance. And I think in training, my longest run would have been 11 or 12 miles. And come the end of March, on the start of British summertime, I did the Yeovil Half Marathon, my first one, in 1 hour 56 and some changing seconds. But once again, 6 days of DOMS after that, as was my longest run, and I pushed as hard as I could. At the time, I didn't have decent sports watch or a heart rate monitor, so I just sort of had to go by feel and track my runs using the phone in a pocket, and I timed my race with a Casio G-Shock